Welcome to Allie's Attic, where you never know what kind of surprise you'll find in my attic. I'm your host, Allie, and today my surprise is a man who is kind of behind the invisible artist Ghostly Beard. He is a visionary artistic entity with a boundlessly creative sweep that encompasses soft rock, jazz, progressive rock, fusion, pop, classic rock, and much, much more. And I absolutely adore him. Please welcome Ghostly Beard.
Oh,
Otherwise
oh, thanks,
known.
Eddie. That was quite an introduction. Now I'm all shy here. I don't know what to say.
Don't be shy. First off, you are Canadian, which thrills me to no end. You are in Montreal.
Yes, I am. Actually, I'm only recently Canadian.
Oh, really?
Yes, I've had my citizenship this year only. I've been living in Montreal for 12 years, but
Uh-huh.
I don't know how. I never really did. It was so much papers and stuff that I never really got to it. But then last year, we did all the papers, and now I'm officially Canadian.
Okay.
But I'm French from France actually at
Ah,
first. Yes.
nice. I've always wanted to go to France, especially Paris. I want to go so bad.
Yes.
Um,
But yeah, I adopted this country because I love it basically. So
yeah,
you can tell
great
you
country.
can see that I'm Canadian and I'm proud of it.
Awesome. I'm proud that you're Canadian now.
Yeah.
So your name is Patrick Talbot, but you do refer to yourself as Ghostly Beard.
Yes.
You stay kind of, I don't want to say hidden. You're very mysterious. And I think it's absolutely brilliant. And I love the way you do things. Um, Now, you started off as a singer, songwriter, producer, instrumentalist, and you just came out of a 15-year musical retirement.
Yes.
And I'm gonna let you take over and tell me your story, Patrick, because it's
Okay.
absolutely brilliant. I love it. I'm in
Oh,
love with you and what you're doing.
oh wow. Thanks. Now I'm all red behind the beard actually, but okay. I'm gonna try and continue from there. So yes, I've been out of music for 15 years. But I've got the bug from a very early age. Actually, I don't know. I must have been 8 years old when I first really knew that I wanted to do that and really learn music and do music. It was I remember actually very precisely that when it happened because my parents were listening to all sorts of things. They loved classical music and opera and things like that. But I have older brothers as well, and there was at the time it was in the 70s. They were listening to rock music of the time, and they were listening to the Beatles and the Stones and the Who and all sorts of things like that, and Pink Floyd and Led Zeppelin and the first song that they made me listen. Well, they didn't attach me to a chair or anything, but basically they made me listen to Led Zeppelin "Whole Lotta Love," which for me was just I just blown my mind basically because it was such a different thing. Before that, I was listening to the Sound of Music, basically,
Hmm.
and I still love it actually. And it's true that that's the way I define the music I do. It's somewhere between the Sound of Music and Led Zeppelin. It's somewhere there. So it's
Hmm.
quite wide,
Yeah.
and I love it this way because there's so much great music in all kinds of genre. And I don't want to be pegged inside one of them and to be put in a box and everything. So basically, at that time, and I was 8, I think, 8 or 9, I really thought, yeah, I love that. It's really what I want to do. And then my older brother had a guitar, so I was always sneaking into his room to play his guitar. And then in the end, I managed to get one, start learning basically. And from the age of 14 to the age of I don't know, 22, 23, maybe more, I was doing nothing but that. Basically, I was playing guitar, learning all sorts of styles, all sorts of genre, everything. I was just like a musical sponge. I've said that, and that was because I really wanted to learn everything I could about music and learn about all sorts of genre. I wanted to be a session musician. Actually, I wanted to work in studios. I wanted to be a studio rat. I've never fancied being in the limelight. It's not my thing, and it's still not my thing, which is as you can imagine. And but I love the what you do in the shadows to make the music sound great, and I love studios for that, and I love that you can manipulate sound in all sorts of ways and create new things and create new sounds, and I was very interested in that part of it. So I also started learning synthesizers and playing as well, and how to program them and do all sorts of things. And basically from the age of, as I said, 14 to, I don't know, 22, 23, I was doing I don't know, 8 to 12 hours a day of practice of music. I was doing nothing else. And my parents, of course, were very happy about that. And so that was the deal. And then, of course, I needed to find a job. So I found a job which was somehow related. I ended up in computer and software development because I was interested in how to program synthesizers, basically. So that was my entry to software development, basically, and I did that for a certain number of years. And then at the age of 30, I married, and then we had all sorts of issues. My wife got cancer.
Oh.
She's in remission now. She got better after that. But we lost our parents. All of that in a quite short period of time. We lost our jobs. Then a few years later, she lost her job. I lost mine. There were quite a few things, hard things, and then we adopted a child in China. It took quite a long time as well, and there was some issue with her as well because it's quite a trauma, actually. And so I wasn't at all into music for so long, and then we moved to Canada as well, which wasn't that easy either, So it took all these years for me to get back to a place where I could have time and especially have the energy to get back to music. And I'm happy I did because it's really something that was always in the back of my mind. It was always something that I've always loved it, and it's always I'm even though my day-to-day job is to be a software developer, I'm really, the way I think of myself is musician first, so it was always there, and I've never had a big breakup as a musician, and because I was in the south of France, and there's not much studio you can work on, so it never really happened. But I was in a few bands and did all sorts of stuff. But mainly, what I did was learn everything I could about music. So I've learned to play any kind of style, and I was really very technically proficient when at the age of 30 I could play anything and any kind of music basically. But then in 15 years I've forgotten a lot of that, and I don't have the technique that I had before. So but in the end, and this is why I often say is that all of these experiences and the fact that I don't have the technique anymore makes my music much more heartfelt, basically, and much more, has a lot more depth now. I mean, it's something that it's not my fingers who are playing anymore. It's all in my head and all in my heart. That's the only thing that matters, and I prefer to do simple things now, but make them count basically, and have every note and everything really have some meaning and have some musical meaning, and so it's not about showing off anymore because I can't. I can't anymore, but that's a good thing actually, because I've learned that music is not about showing off. It's about exchanging emotions. It's about a human connection somehow, and this is what I'm about now, and I'm happy to have gone back to it with that different approach, and of course I've learned, when I finally got the energy and the time as well to come back to it. I bought some gear to be able to build myself a little studio where I live, and I started learning as well about audio engineering, because it's quite a craft, and it's something that you learn every day basically. So I keep doing that, and I spend a an enormous amount of time on each of these songs, because I want them to be exactly what I have in my head, and I got quite a big imagination when it comes to music. So I go in all sorts of places. So this is where I am now.
Well, and I'm glad you are. Um, you can hear the passion in every song because I have listened to every song of yours. Now, I like, and you can hear, I'm going to talk about the artists that you've been compared to, and you can hear all sorts of them in there. And it just, if I had to sit back and close my eyes and listen, and without knowing who you were compared to, I think a couple of the names that you are compared to would have come out, especially James Taylor. You really, really, really remind me of James Taylor with your storytelling, and I love that. But you've been told that you're like Steely Dan, Pink Floyd, James Taylor, Genesis, XTC, Cat Stevens. I can hear that too. Weather Report, Michael Franks, and Chicago. And you can. The James Taylor part especially. I mean, I'm a fan of any 70s music.
Oh, me too, for sure.
Yeah, and you can hear it in your music. And I love the fact that you say that you don't want to be put in a box, genre-wise, because I think that is a mistake if you do that. I mean, I'm not a musician or anything like that, but I just think if you give yourself different opportunities and different genres to play with, that you will go further. And there's going to be somebody out there that likes this song because of that, and this song because of that, and so I love how you do what you do.
Yes, basically, it's a beauty of being an indie artist, is that basically you don't have anyone to tell you what kind of music you should do and how you should do it. Basically, there's no label telling me, well, you should do that kind of genre because it's what's on right now, and no one is going to tell me that. And even there's no producer, because I produce my own music, so there's no one to tell me what kind of sound I should have, or what kind of music I should do. And it's very important to me, because I do all that music alone, and that's something that I want to be excited by a song. I want to be excited by something, to be able to pass that excitement and that love of it to anyone who is listening. And how can I do that if I always do the same kind of song? Basically, I need, and I once I've done something, I want the next song to be totally different, because I want to be excited by it. I want to try something new, something else, something. But of course, I have all sorts of influences, and they come back to me when I start something. A song, I will start with some simple ideas, but then they will evolve, and the song will tell me what kind of arrangement it needs, basically. So I'm gonna follow that, whatever the genre it is, basically.
Yeah. Well, okay, and I'm going to talk about your being behind the scenes. You like to be in the shadows, like you've said, and it just gives you the chance to just focus on the work. And the songs are what's important to you, not being out in front, not being noticed, not anything like that. And in your bio, which I have in front of you, it says that sometimes I guess people think that maybe you're cold, like you have an icy veneer. And I want
Hmm.
to dispel that right now. Um, because since I've started this and since I've been introduced to you via Twitter, you have been a huge supporter and friendly and helpful. And so that is just completely not true. The reason you do the things you do is because you want to focus on the music.
Yeah.
Um, Now, also, you changed because you had a daughter.
Hmm.
You became a father,
Yeah.
and you say even though sometimes you're a loner in the world, she's there to ground you. So
Hmm.
she's definitely daddy's little girl from the sounds of things, which I
Oh
think is
yes.
absolutely beautiful.
Or I'm yeah I'm her father. I am. It's rather the other way around. Basically, I'm. You know, I wrote a song about that. And I said I'm wrapped around a little finger, and that's exactly it. You
Yeah.
know.
Now, is that the song Blue that you're talking about?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Okay. It is a beautiful, beautiful song, and
Oh,
it's
thank
kind of a jazz waltz.
you.
And it's snapshots, the woozy love that lives within a parent. And it's absolutely beautiful. I'm a parent and a grandparent, and I
Hmm.
loved, loved, loved the song.
Oh, thanks.
And you wanted the song to convey how you feel when you think
Hmm.
about your little girl. Now, is this
Yes.
the girl that you've adopted?
Yes,
Okay.
that's and actually the fact that the song is called Blue is coming from the very first picture that I took of her when we adopted her. She was almost a year old. She was her birthday was a few days after we adopted her, and we were in China, and she the first few weeks and but especially the first day were quite traumatic for her because she has never seen any non-Asian people, and especially someone with a beard, and I was quite a strange thing for her, and she
Hmm.
was she was quite, and she was all tiny, and she basically spent the whole day crying and shouting, and she was very upset, and it was
Hmm.
really heartbreaking. But at the end of this very hard day, she finally came to sleep, and I took a picture of her when she was asleep, and this picture is it's in a shade of blue. I don't know why. It's because it was done it was in the hotel where we were, and it was night, and there was some kind of a shade of a blue. But she looked like an angel. She looked so peaceful and so beautiful. And it's probably for me it's really the exact moment where I fell in love with this little girl,
Aw.
because for me it was really the moment where I saw, oh wow, that's she's going to change my life, basically,
Yeah.
and that's what I wanted also to be there in the song, which is why she's, for me, she's blue,
Mm-hmm. Well, then that's a beautiful backstory to that song. That is gorgeous. Um, Now you're very, very comfortable now with your life and with the way everything's
Hmm.
going. Your songs convey different things that you've gone through throughout your journey.
Yeah.
Um, but you're no longer haunted by what could have been. And you're getting to live your dream that you had when you were a teenager.
Yeah,
Um, and
in a way, yes. Hmm.
I think that is beautiful, absolutely beautiful, because as we know, as humans, sometimes we don't get that chance to, live a dream that we've maybe put aside.
Hmm.
And I can't say thank God enough because I'm absolutely in love with you. Like your music just it
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
transports you, and I love that it's different. I love that there's all these different sounds and vibes to every single song, and it means a lot to me that you're on. I just wanted to
Oh,
say that.
thanks. Yeah, that's really, that's what, that's why I do music. That's, I do it for me, because that's some kind of all sorts of emotions and stuff that I have in my head. But I also do that because I want to share that. And when, and there's all sorts of difficulties being an indie artist, but in the end, it's about communicating with and have some kind of human. Again, it's about human connection, and I know it might sound a bit paradoxical because I'm hidden behind a logo and all sorts of images, but basically for me, and especially when I am on social media, I'm trying to connect with people. I'm trying to not just push or promote or push my music as much as I can. You know, I find that boring, honestly. I want people to, okay, if they like it, and I've had some great feedback from people, and this is what makes me want to do more and to continue, and to it drives me basically, and I'm very happy about that.
Hmm.
And much more than any money in the world could give me. I don't care about that, you know.
Yeah.
But I do care about people saying to me, well, I've connected to this song, and this makes me think that what I'm doing somehow is worth it, you know, and that drives me to continue.
Yeah, and I'm glad you do. Um, One of the things I love about you, Patrick, is you're always promoting other indie artists. I love the indie
Hmm.
artist lifestyle anyway. Everybody supports one another, they push one another, they promote one another, and I
Yeah.
absolutely love that.
Hmm.
And you do it a lot. You're constantly asking people to check people out and follow this person, and I just think it's absolutely wonderful that you do that for others.
Well, you know, it's really, yeah, it's really my thing because you know, I let's face it, I'm right now I'm 53. I don't even show my face. I don't gig. You know, I'm not going to do any concert because basically I'm doing all the instruments myself, and that would be a little bit ridiculous on stage. You know, so well, so I'm not expecting much from this. I'm sharing it, and I love that people can find it, and some people like it. But in the end, I have a regular job. It's fine. I'm doing fine there. I'm doing it because I love it, and whether no one is listening or not, I would probably still doing it. You know, but I see all sorts of young artists, especially who who are very talented, who really and who are struggling, and because it's a really tough world, and there is very little occasion to be able to live from it, you know,
Hmm.
and that really breaks my heart. I want them to succeed. I want to push them. I want to be able to see that wow, they maybe they are not at the top of the top 40 or whatever. I don't care.
Hmm.
No one really cares about that. But
Hmm.
if they manage to make a living out of it and live from their passion, then wow,
Yeah.
I'm happy for them. I'm gonna cheer for them, and I'm gonna you know, share their music because it needs listening, you know, and
Yeah.
that's what I'm about. And I think that more and more I'm going to do that. Actually, I'm just starting up. You know,
Yeah.
I want to be more involved in sharing stuff, and lately I've started doing some reviews as well. And for me it's not to be. Uh, I'm not going to do that as a music critic because I you know, it's not about me. I want to be able to shout out to great music, and to be able maybe to you know, have some people read that and say, oh well,
Hmm.
sounds good, so maybe I should have a listen, you know.
Yeah, go
If
check
I
it
can
out.
manage that, then I'm happy.
Well,
So
yeah.
this is going to be about that, and I want to do more and more of that and be involved in any kind of action that can involve supporting artists, you know, and not only artists, because and this is something that I say as well. I think that people like you who, with your show, are supporting artists, you also need our support. It's a two-way street for me, and there's no reason, you know, we all do that because it's a passion,
Yeah.
and I love passionate people, and I want them to succeed as well. I want to see your show being, you know, seen by as much people as possible, and there are all sorts of great radios and shows and blogs and all these people are passionate about music, and this is what I love.
Yeah.
And for me, we are all partners in that world, and I want so it's really about supporting each other, and it's this how we can somehow we can win, and by win I mean having more people listen to something different than what the big ones are trying to feed us with,
Yeah.
like people like Spotify and everything. And I
Yeah.
keep ranting about them because they are not about music, they are about money. And
Mhm.
so it's a total different world. I'm not in that world, I don't want to be in.
Yeah.
But I want to be in a world where people are passionate about it.
Yeah. And definitely, and you support, like I said, like crazy. Now, your new album came out October 20th
Mhm.
of this year,
Yeah.
and there's going to be some videos from this.
Yes.
Upper Hand, A Reason to Leave, Blue, of course, and Fool are going to be
Yes.
official videos, and I
Yes.
cannot wait.
Hopefully, I'm waiting for someone for full, and a reason to leave. There is one that is in the work. Upper Hand, I hope that we'll be able to do something as well. It's all a question of budget as well, because I don't have that much money to put in.
Yeah.
So it's all about that. We're trying to make the most of a very limited budget, because basically it's all from my pocket. So
Yeah.
but we're trying to make it fun, but basically, if you want to be heard, you need to be on YouTube as well. So and people, yeah, they want some kind of video support. So we do that, and it's fun actually. That's
Yeah, I would love to do one, but I mean, like I said, I'm not a musician, so it won't be happening anytime soon.
well,
Now,
you got a good voice. I'm sure that I don't know if you sing or whatever, but honestly, I'm not, I love you have a great voice, and you when you said you've been doing some radio before, and I'm not
yeah.
surprised because you have that kind of voice.
Yeah, I did it
That's
for
great.
18 years. Well, thank you. Your voice is like smooth chocolate, just so I can say.
Oh,
And you can, yeah, it's beautiful. I love talking to you. Um, Now, because you've kind of been in the industry, even though you were like you did take a 15-year hiatus,
mhm.
um, you were around for a while before that, and you were kind of
Yes,
still throughout that. Now you're back. Um, if you had any advice to give any of these new artists that are starting
mhm.
out, what kind of
Yeah.
advice would you give them, Patrick?
Well, I can give them two advice. One on a musical standpoint, and another from a kind of promotion point of view. The first one, musically, I think that the best advice I can give any musician is to learn their craft, is to learn music, is to be open to any kind of music, to be absorbing as much music as they can, learn to play any music. I've been playing jazz, I've been playing classical, rock, all sorts of things, and you need to have a wide vocabulary.
Mm-hmm.
You need that as a musician, and
Mm-hmm.
you need to be as technically proficient as you can. And then once you reach a certain stage, you need to forget about that. You need to forget entirely about technique, and you need to play with your heart, play with whatever is with your emotions. And you can do that only if you have enough technique at one point to be able to play with, to to reach a point where it's not your fingers who are playing anymore. Okay, and you need that. And but to be able to do that and to define your own style, you need to be able to play anything basically. And once you've done that, you can merge all these influences, all these things into your own thing, your own style. And so that's in terms of music advice, that would be the one I would give to any young artists starting and in music basically.
Mm-hmm.
And then from a promotion point of view, I would say try not to push your music like it was just a product. It's not a product. It's more, and I know that a lot of PR firm are going to tell you that you should treat your band as a product and everything. Okay, that's might be a product, but your music is an emotional thing. It's something that should touch people, you know. And to be able to touch people, you need to touch them yourself as well. You know, you need to interact with them, you know, and so you need to be interested in them as well. You know, you just don't need to push your content all the time. And I see some bands doing that, and I'm thinking, no, they're doing it wrong, because you know, once you've pushed your song on Twitter for the 100th time, most of the people who are following you are just going to mute you or just unfollow, because it's so boring. I mean, they want they want to have fun. They want to know your content, that's for sure. But they also want to know who you are and to exchange with you somehow, you know. And one of the exchange that is really important as well is to exchange with your peers, to exchange with other artists, and to, you know, and so they there's so much content existing from other artists that you can exchange as well. And again, it's something that you can do for what you do for them at one point they will do for you as well, because they will understand that, you know, it's everyone wins when we share music. There's no for me. There's no competition. This doesn't exist in music. It's and it's been for too long. It's been in the mind of a lot of musicians, because there was this kind of a battle of the bands mindset. You know, I don't, but it doesn't exist on the internet. There's so much people listening to music. There's a place for everyone, basically. You know.
Mm-hmm.
So the more you share, and the more the people who are following you are going to like what you do, because they want to listen to all sorts of things as well. You know, not only your music. They probably are not listening only to you. They are already listening to all sorts of things. So bring them content that you like, that is related to you, of quality things that you like as well, and they will also. So that's the kind of idea that I want young artists starting to promoting themselves to 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 do. You know, it's and it's a simple thing. It's the sharing is caring, basically. You know,
Exactly.
and if you care for other artists, you share that content as well, and they will share yours, and that happens. And I see that every day on Twitter, on Facebook, on all sorts
Mm-hmm.
of social media. So, and once you do that, you will get a more reach, and you will find people, and it's fun as well. I mean, come on, it's not about it's yeah, promotion is one thing, but if it's not fun, then why are you doing it anyway?
Exactly. You have to have fun doing it.
Exactly.
That is great advice. Great advice. And I love how you talked about the music and the promotion. And I agree with you with you have to write a song and perform a song that means something to you.
Yes.
Otherwise, people aren't going to feel it.
No.
People
Yeah.
connect to the emotional part of a song, or if it's a catchy song, they connect to the happiness, but only if you're conveying that when you're singing. Now, I like that you said, "Do you sing?" I can sing. I don't sing.
Mhm.
Everybody's begged me my entire life to sing. I don't think I can. I don't think I don't like the sound of me singing, so I've never really tried. But if you ever
Okay.
want me to, do a
But
little line in a song.
you could take some lessons
Oh,
and give it
yeah.
a real try. I don't know. It's honestly, I really like your voice.
Well, thank you.
It's really. I'm sure you can sing.
Well, my mom says I can, but I'm not.
All right. Okay.
I love listening. I mean, I do not watch TV hardly at all. I am
Mhm.
listening to music 24/7, well, except for when I'm sleeping, but I even have it on then.
Right.
And I love discovering
Mhm.
different sounds and different artists, and
Sure.
so this is my passion because
Mhm.
I relate to so many songs. I mean, everybody says to me, "Well, I thought this song was your favorite. Now this song's your favorite." And this, yeah, they're all my favorites. And so I think I'm going to just keep doing what I'm doing. But yeah,
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I would love
True.
to add something to a song. I mean, if I could, if somebody wanted me to, sing a line or something, I'd love to try it. But I don't know.
Mhm.
I'd have to get over my self-consciousness, and it's
Right.
weird hearing yourself. And
Yeah, it is.
I
It
don't
is.
like
And
hearing
actually,
myself.
I'm going to tell you, I hate my own voice. I'm singing myself because no one is here to sing them for me. But I'm not a singer. I don't consider myself a singer.
Oh God.
Consider myself a musician, but not a really good singer actually. That's
Well, I think you are. So,
oh, okay,
and
thanks.
trust me, I
Yeah,
listen to a
yeah.
lot of
But
artists.
we are always our worst
Critic.
critics, right?
Yeah, definitely. We always are. Um, okay, so you sent me a whole bunch of your songs. And like I said, I've listened to just about every song that you've sang, unless there's some that I haven't found yet. You let
Be
me,
a new album soon, but yeah.
yeah, you let me pick the two
Yeah.
songs that I wanted to
Mhm.
put on the show. And I picked I Dream of You and Set Me Free. Both of them resonated with me. And the melodies are different, which is lovely. Like I love that they're completely different songs. But they just, and like I said, here we go back to it has to make you feel something. And both
Mhm.
those songs do. So those are the two songs I picked. I'm not going to talk about them. I want people to listen to them and then they'll understand. I want them to listen to all of your music. I really want them to listen to Blue, especially if they're a parent, because it's going to make you a little weepy because it's so full of love for children, like your child, and it's a beautiful song. All of your songs are, Patrick,
Oh,
like it's
thanks.
just
Thanks.
amazing. um Now you can purchase your music anywhere online as well as your website, which
Mhm.
is ghostlybeard.com. That will be on my website. They can just click on the link and it'll take them right to you so they can find out more about you and listen to more of your songs, which I encourage everybody to do. Please don't ever stop what you're doing, and please don't stop supporting as many artists as I watch you support. It's absolutely beautiful
Yeah.
to see you doing that. And a lot of the artists in the indie world do that. And that's part of the reason I love. I mean, I'm also going to try my damnedest to get, big stars on because I want their advice
Mhm.
on so other artists that are just starting out can listen, just like having,
Sure. Mhm.
Joe Bonzel from the Oak Ridge Boys. They've been in the industry for 50 years.
Right.
So
Yeah.
advice is valuable.
Yeah. Of course.
But I'm still going to be immersed in the indie, not just music. I mean, any kind of indie arts. I absolutely
Mhm.
love it,
Mhm.
and I love
Mhm.
being able to support.
Oh yeah. Of course. There are basically. I love people who are you know who are creative in any ways,
Hmm.
because they have that passion that drives them, and what you do is creative as well. And I see you as a creative person because you started this show, and it's coming from something deep as well. I know that, and you've turned that into something positive, and I love that.
Oh, thank you. I love doing it. It gives me a reason to get up every morning.
Hmm.
Um, Patrick, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming on. I love the connection we made. I love the advice you give. I love the support you give. Um, but mostly, I love your music. And I am going to be looking forward to hearing more and more. This isn't, one time you come on and you
Hmm.
never come on again. If you ever have anything new you want to share, you know how to get in contact with me and you can come back on. If you have a single that you want me to put up on my website, because I do that for artists and promote it, that's available too.
Cool.
But
Yeah.
beyond you being an artist and a great one at that, I consider you a friend and I absolutely adore you. And I adore your logo. I love the beard logo, by the way, just so you know.
Well, yeah, I really, I stumbled upon this thing. It's an icon actually that I found on what is it? The Noun project, something like that. There's a,
Okay.
it's a online website where you can license icons.
Oh, wow.
It's for any kind of project, and I was looking for some ideas, and I saw this thing, and I thought, wow, that's cool. It's a beard, but it's also a mask. It's also a ghost. It's all sorts of things, and I like that people can put their own interpretation on that as well.
Mm-hmm. And they can, and I love it.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah,
said, it's brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant.
cool.
Um, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story because it's a gorgeous story. I'm urging everybody to please go and listen to Ghostly Beard, aka Patrick Talbot. And thank you once again for coming on.
Well, thanks a lot. Thanks. It's me who want to thank you for having me, and it's been a real pleasure. And I follow what you do, and you can bet keep following what you do and keep doing it because it's great.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for joining me on Allie's Attic. Keep checking my website because you never know what kind of surprises you'll find in my attic. Cheers.